Welcome to this edition of the BRSN Insider. I'm sitting down with Wrestling Coach Marcus Cobbs. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You guys wrestled down at Missouri Valley this past weekend. Talk about what you saw from you guys.
Saw a lot of improvements this past weekend at the Missouri Valley Invite. Missouri Valley Invite's turned into a mini national tournament, so all the top teams in the country come there. And so we had some guys step up and actually get some ranked guys and beat them. And so Michael Lucas continues to show that he's improving throughout the season. This has been a great second semester for him so far. He's avenged a loss, one against Graceland, who beat him earlier this year in overtime. Came out at the Missouri Valley Invite, had that rematch, and was able to initiate the action, get the takedowns, and put him on his back and pin him and show dominance. So saw a lot of improvements. Definitely didn't get the places that we wanted as far as getting guys placed on the podium. But once again, it's like a mini national tournament, and so some of those guys showed up and showed that they got what it takes.
You guys are getting further into your season now. What have you seen so far that you've liked?
They're picking up what we're putting down. And so these guys are coming into practice every day, working hard. They're overcoming adversity. These are a lot of freshmen. And so for them to come into such a competitive conference and a competitive national tournament like here in NAI and see how they're stepping up is amazing.
What are some things you guys are about 3 weeks away from Heart Championship / national qualifier? What are some things you guys want your guys to get better at before that time?
Just we're getting better in positioning and just continuing our wrestling throughout 7 minutes. We're a pretty good conditioned team, so when it comes to cardiovascular, we can last the entire match. Now it's just maintaining that position and making sure that we can score when we're able to.
So how does the national qualifying process work? I know it's changed in the past couple of years. They went, instead of the regional, now they've moved it to just Heart schools in the qualifier. Explain how that process works.
So there are conferences now. Each team in the NAI is in a conference, and so your conference gets a certain amount of bids depending on the amount of wrestlers you have ranked in a weight class. And so say 125, we have 4 guys ranked in the country from the Heart Conference. So because we have 4 guys ranked in the conference, 4 guys from the conference ranked in the national tournament, we'll get 4 bids. So the top 4 out of our conference tournament will get to go. Now say there's no one ranked. Now only the champion qualifies. And so you only get 1 bid. And so 2, 3, and that's how it kind of goes, depending on the rankings of your wrestlers through your conference.
So how does that work for you, like when you're like a strategy type thing before that event?
Well, one is obviously to wrestle that tough competition, get the ranked guys. We're not only fighting for our institution, but we're also fighting for our conference. And so the more guys in our conference that are ranked, the better it is for my guys to have a chance to get to that national tournament as well. So if you got a guy ranked 20th in the country, but we've got 5 guys ranked in the conference in the nation, that now creates an extra spot that may have not been there before. So it takes a little pressure off as well. Yeah.
So how do you determine a dual roster? I know you have multiple guys at each weight class. So what do you see in practice that determines who wrestles that night?
It comes with a variety of things, just to see how their mental is, if they're healthy, how they've been wrestling throughout the week. And then when it comes down to it, it's just the nitty-gritty of a challenge match. So if someone says, hey, I want to challenge you for your starting spot within the right amount of days, and they're able to make the weight, we give them that shot. Win or lose, if they win, they're in. And obviously if they're out.
You said you got a lot of freshmen that year. How do you feel like they've grown throughout this season?
The growth has been tremendous. They've gotten tougher. They're really soaked in the competitive side of it. It's awesome to see them handle not only the wrestling and the competitive side with practice and all of that, but also to see how they handle their academics. They've got great grades. To see them out there in the community, also helping with the Atchison Kids Club, Wrestling Club, and all of that stuff, to see that they're able to juggle all these things and still be successful and still grow in the process is showing me that these are the right guys for our program.
You guys have a duel tomorrow night against Graceland. What are your expectations for tomorrow night?
Expect my guys to come out and wrestle 7 minutes and wrestle to the best of their ability. And when those guys do that, we usually come out successful.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck to you tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Benedictine College Wrestling Coach Marcus Cobbs on the BRSN Insider.
A wise man once said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." Discover what you were made for. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.
Back on the BRSN Insider, I'm sitting down with head men's basketball coach Ryan Moody. Coach, thank you for joining us. 17-2, 13-0, number 7 team in the country. Just what has brought you guys so much success this year?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's just the unselfish nature of the guys. I mean, they truly care about each other. There's a great team chemistry out there. So when you take the off-the-court stuff, maybe things that distract you from competing on a day-in, day-out basis and getting the team ready, we don't have any of those distractions. And so then we can really work on maybe the things that we're good at or even the things we're not good at. This group has really defended well for the most part over the course of the season so far, and then they just really share the basketball and are confident. They don't care who's scoring. I think we've got 3 or 4 guys in double-digit scoring over the course of the year and somebody different leading us almost every night. So, it's just kind of been a combination of things up to this point. But if I was to put my finger on one thing, I think the chemistry, the fact that in that locker room, they all support each other, and that's been huge. So
you've had really good teams in the years past. What's different about this team than teams you've had before?
Every team's a little bit different. I mean, this group, to start the year, we weren't sure just how athletic we were going to be. But we figured out a way to contest shots at the rim and make it hard a lot of times for people to score. We don't have that. A couple years back, we had Jalen Smith who led the nation in blocks, and he was just a high flyer. These guys, they're not high flyers, but they're long. They have great timing, and even our guards are going up and trying to block shots and contest at the rim. So, I'll go back to that a little bit defensively, and then we shoot it pretty well, at least up to this point. From the 3-point line across the board. I mean, all 5 guys at times can shoot it, and I think that creates a matchup problem for our opponents.
You guys have gotten a few days off before the game tonight, and then you get a week off before you go on the road again. How important are those days off, considering how grueling of a schedule this conference is?
Well, we hope it's good. I mean, we've been playing pretty well, and so taking a break was a good thing. I could even sense it last night and the day before in practice. We gave them a couple days off of nothing, and you could sense a pop back in their step a little bit and an eagerness to play, which you like to see that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with days off. You hope you don't lose your stride or your rhythm, and I don't fear that we will. It is a gruel. This league is going to be tough. We've got 11 games left. To Central Methodist, William Penn. I mean, we've got to go through them all again, and they're very good. So the rest will help us in the long run.
So you mentioned a few teams. Talk about the depth of the conference and the outlook for the rest of the conference.
I think it's the toughest Division I conference in the country, to be honest with you. You've got so many different styles of play with teams that are really big and loaded up with transfers, and then teams that go small and try to run and gun and shoot threes. I mean, you've got to defend maybe in 1 week 3 different styles of play. And I thought our guys have responded well to that. As far as the rest of the league, we're pretty much just worried about us. I think that, William Penn's clearly going to be one of the top teams in the country, even though they've dropped maybe a couple more than they're used to up to this point. Central Methodist is really good. Peru is really good when healthy. So I just think it's going to be a grind, and I think there'll be some others. I mean, 11 games. February's moving month. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
You're either moving up or you're moving down, and hopefully maybe that's not the case. Maybe we'll stay right where we're at. But it's going to be a tough month.
With the success you guys have had, how important is it to keep the guys on track and not let their heads get too big and things of that nature?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, at least within the program, on the practice floor, in team sessions, whether it be film or just meeting or whatever, we don't sense it. They're really dialed in. They compete like crazy in practice. I think they're carrying themselves really well off the floor as well. They're just, we've talked a lot about being humble and hungry, and we just want to keep grinding and keep getting better. And I think we've found ways to do that. So, there hasn't been a whole lot. And we talk a little bit about, you have to be continuing in the process of getting better. If we stay the same and everybody else is getting better, we're going to get caught. And it's a little different than maybe the last couple of years, where right now we do have a target on our chest, and it's been us being the one targeting others in the past. So, I think that's a little bit different mentality, but the confidence level's there. I don't sense any inflated heads or egos. I just think they want to go play, and I'm proud of them for that.
So you've had some youth step up this year with guys like Jaden Bristol, Eric Cruz. Talk about some of those younger guys who have stepped up for you this year.
That's kind of always been our plan. I mean, we've worked really hard to get great high school players to come in here and buy into redshirting and getting big and strong and, playing throughout the course of their career, 4 or 5 years. And yeah, I mean, Jaden has stepped up, is one of the best point guards in the league as a sophomore. Eric Cruz is probably the best freshman in the league at this point through the course of 19 games. Saxton Thurston's given us great minutes. Chris Jackson as a sophomore has given us great minutes. There's probably Jaden Temmie giving us great minutes as a freshman. So we've relied on those guys, and I think we've kind of sold to the team. And not sold's not the greatest word, but they understand it. Depth is a strength for us, and we can put 4 or 5 different guys out there that are younger at one time and not feel a big drop off. So we feel like that's a good strength for us.
Adam Cutney just crossed the 1,000-point mark. Thomas O'Connor is nearing that mark.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what those guys have meant to the program, not this year, but just in years past as well.
Yeah, so those were 2 guys that didn't redshirt and got a chance to play as freshmen right away. They've, grinded through 4 years, gotten bigger, stronger, faster. They've really been in a lot of tight games. They've been in just a lot of situations, and I'm really proud of them. They put a ton of work in off the floor or outside of practice on their game and have definitely stepped up their leadership capabilities. So, they've taken advantage of their opportunities. We're proud of them. We want them to keep scoring, and hopefully Tom will get there soon. And congratulations to Adam. And they'd be the first ones though to say like so much of this goes to their teammates for sharing the ball, being on good teams, and I think that's a big part of it.
Big game tonight against number 24 CMU. You guys went on the road earlier in the year and beat them at their place by 5. What were some of the things you learned from that game that you'll use tonight? They're
really gifted offensively. Their 3 guards can play with just about anybody in the country. So we're gonna have to slow down the dribble. They really attack. I mean, 70% of their offense comes from 2s and free throws, and that's shocking. I mean, that's a lot. And so we're gonna have to really defend the paint, shrink the court, not foul, and find a way to rebound the basketball. They got us with 17 offensive rebounds down there. So this is going to be a challenge. I think we'll have the size factor. We'll definitely be confident, but we'll have to play well.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck to you tonight.
Thanks, Dakota.
Benedictine College men's basketball coach Ryan Moody on the BRSN Insider.
A wise man once said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." Discover what you were made for. Benedictine College, where greatness begins.
Back on the BRSN Insider, I'm sitting down with women's basketball coach Chad Folsom. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You guys got a big road win on Monday night over number 4 MNU. Just talk about that game and how important of a win that was for you guys.
I mean, it's a big game, definitely. Sometimes you always talk about having a signature win, within your season, and that was definitely a signature win for us to beat the number 4 team in the country and the top team in our conference, and especially to do it on the road.
Yeah.
It was a battle all the way through, but in the final 3-4 minutes, we really executed and got steals and turnovers and able to come down and capitalize and get the W.
Say last time we talked, it was before break. You guys are below 500. Now you're 5 games above 500. How do you feel like the team's progressed in this past month or so?
We're doing well. We've won 8 of our last 10, I believe, and started when we went to Hawaii. I thought that was a great trip for us. We played 2 good teams there, John Brown and Rio Grande from Ohio, and were able to come away with 2 W's. And then I feel like our team really just started to gel. Started to work well together and respect each other, and you could see it on the court. And since then, we've done a great job of sharing the basketball and playing together, and we're starting to hit shots as well. I think we're taking good shots and making the extra pass and finding the open player. And I think everybody's really starting to play really well together and understand their roles and what they have to do.
Tough conference schedule. I mean, you guys are 15 games in, but your thoughts on the rest of the conference so far? Now that you've seen everybody one time and some teams twice already.
Yeah, I think this year the league is tougher than it's ever been. Top to bottom. Mid-American Nazarene and William Penn are at the top, and then right below them Central Methodist, and then you've got a giant group of about 8-9 teams that are all 1 or 2 games apart and are beating each other every single night.
Yeah.
So, you got to be ready every night, and there's no guarantees, and you got to come out ready to play. And it's been great because it is such a battle. And but sorting out the top 4, 5, 6 teams, it's really hard to do because every week somebody gets beat or somebody else knocks somebody else off. So we'll see. It's been a great beginning. Hopefully we can do better in the second semester than we did in the first.
You got a lot of youth on this team this year. I mentioned to you that there's one time there's 4 freshmen and a sophomore on the floor at the same time. Talk about how they have progressed so far this year.
Yeah, we're definitely a young team. We have 10 freshmen, sophomores out of 15. And our starting lineup is 4 juniors and a freshman, and then we're bringing in 2 more freshmen and a junior and 3 sophomores. So we're definitely young, and we're counting on the young players to step up, and I feel like they're now doing that. It's been we had a lot of learning issues, maybe learning mistakes curve in the beginning of the season, and I feel like now they're all starting to understand what it takes to compete at this level, and they're all really stepping up and doing a great job.
You got Central Methodist tonight. A team that you lost to on the road earlier in the year, but what did you learn from the first time you played against them?
Well, they're a very athletic team. They are the most athletic team in the conference. And what they hurt us last time was, forcing turnovers, which they do well, and getting easy baskets. But also what they do well is they offensive rebound. And last time they really killed us on the boards. So we've got to do a much better job at rebounding and trying to keep them from getting to the rim. They're really good at attacking and getting to the basket. So it'll be a good challenge, but I think we got a good game plan.
How are you going to use the momentum from Monday? Is there anything from that win that you can carry over into tonight?
Well, our team definitely gained some confidence, winning that game, so I think that helps. But, every night's a different night and a different team, and you just got to be ready for the next one. So I think, we've got some confidence, but at the same time, we got to be ready for the next opponent.
You said just before we went on, this is the first time you've got back-to-back days of practice before a game. How has that impacted how you've been able to work on things and tweak things throughout the year? Yeah,
the last 3 weeks have been really difficult with our schedule. Playing Monday, sometimes 3 days a week. Then we had a snow out and had to move a game, and it left us probably one practice game pretty much for about 3-week period here. So to get 2 days was nice this week, and then we don't play again until next Thursday after tonight. So that'll be nice to get a little break there. So our team's done well though. They've everybody in the league's dealing with it, and our team is definitely coming ready to play every day and bringing a good attitude. And we've been trying to manage their fatigue and their physical punishment, you might say, in practice to keep them ready to go. And I think they've done a great job with it.
So you talk about you get a week off after tonight before you play again. How important is that week off going to be for not only rest, but now you guys get to work on a few things you may not have gotten to work on?
That'll be great. I mean, we haven't had a lot of time to work on us, improve us. And from a coaching staff, we're excited because we don't have to watch film every single night of the week. So we finally get a break here where we can relax a little bit and not be watching film every night. So we're kind of enjoying that. It'll be a good mental break as well as a physical break for the team.
You yourself are coming up on a personal milestone. You got 397 on Monday night against MNU. You getting close to that 400 mark. Talk about just what that means to you.
Yeah, we're getting close to 400 wins. Having been here now 18 years, when you first came here, didn't realize we'd be here this long, but it's been a great place to be, and our kids have grown up here, and we've had lots of great players and great teams over the years, so we've been blessed to have good talent and good coaches, and it's been nice to have Coach Wilder or Coach Connolly with me here for the last 11 years now, and so it's been good consistency within the program, and we're looking at averaging like 22 wins a season now for 18 years, so it's been a lot of good consistency with our players and with like I said, with our program, and Benedictine's a great place to be.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck to you tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Head women's basketball coach Chad Folsom on the BRSN Insider.